Mashley Comedy presents
Third Life Crisis.
Ooh, and we're on to number 5 on our crises. I'm kidding.
Number 5. Oh my god.
Wait, technically it's episode 4?
It's confusing because we had an intro episode, which was fucking adorable, by the way. Why are we so cute? You
Chef's
can say
kiss.
that on your own podcast.
I mean, I think so. I just got done looking at us for hours because we have a new sketch that's dropping where we pretend to be Gen Zers, and I have to say, I was convinced by the end of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we aged in reverse and became Gen Zers, and now we're in the same generation as my daughter, who's 10.
Not disturbing at all. She will have no complexes over this. We're good.
Totally normal. That was fun though. I feel like we should tell them where to go for our YouTube page now that we've brought it up. We're at
yeah. That makes sense.
YouTube.com/C/Mashley Comedy. I don't know why they do that /C, but they do.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm plugging in my light because I look like a vampire right now.
I think you look so cute. I got a new skirt from Rent the Runway, and it's like silk. Did you see it earlier? Could you see it?
No, because I only see you from the waist up most days.
Oh, that's true, because we weren't working together in person. But look, it's so cute.
That is cute.
It's like this army green little
God, I love that.
pencil skirt that really like shows off your curves, which I appreciate, you know?
Oh, I love that. No, I don't like that. I love your skirt. I don't like my light. No, what's the material like on that sucker?
It almost feels like a soft like silk or something.
Oh.
But it's a little stretchy, maybe? It's
a little stretchy.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, I love it. Well,
actually tell us about your work.
I mean, I'm in my jams because I just wanted to be comfy, but we have a very special guest for this episode. We have Miss Elizabeth Alderson, who's joining us. She is the founder of Austin Detours, which is Austin's biggest tour and events company. She is just such a rock star, mother of 3, but I had to don red lipstick for this episode because she, and you will like this, Mandy, is a huge purveyor of lipsticks, every shade under the sun. This woman has a lip on.
You didn't tell me that, but I brought my lip too because I took a nap and then the rest of my makeup like came off, so I was like, I'm just gonna wear lipstick.
I mean, this is a shade she would wear, so I feel like it was a convergence yet again.
I can't wait to meet her. She's gonna tell us all about like achieving your goals because she had a pivot. Right? She had a pivot, and I think it's so important that women, people, anybody feels like empowered to follow like what's on their heart and follow their dreams.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's like you may be too old to die young, but you're never too old to kind of go after whatever you want.
Yeah. Thank God we're too old to die young. We did it. And you know what else? Only the good die young, so we're good there too.
Perfect.
No, we're really good. We're
terrible.
Like angels. Little angels. We just talk a big game.
Oh, that's true. How is this? I know I see you every single day, but theoretically in the world of the podcast, how has your week gone?
So I think the most exciting thing of my week, I was about to call the OBGYN because I went for my appointment, just like my annual appointment, and I didn't hear back. And Ashley and I both have this thing where we think like the worst thing ever is going to happen. Like I can't even not. I do it as in sort of like a preparation, and Ashley is convinced it's going to happen. So if you listened to our intro, she thinks that the ceiling fan is actually going to come chop her head off. I think of all the ways to evade it if it happens. So, you know, my brain after I go to the OB, she did blood work and whatever. And so I was just waiting on like terrible results. And then I get the gorgeous handwritten note from my OBGYN that says like, you're in good health. Your pap smear was perfect. You're so cute. They didn't tell me I was cute, but I know that about myself.
I was blown away by the sight of a handwritten note from a gynecologist. They mailed this to you? Did they send this via carrier pigeon? How did this come?
So I'm going to put a picture of it up like on our YouTube. I'm going to bring it up for you so that you can see. But so just so all of our mashers that are listening, I'm going to read you what it actually says. Let me find it.
While you're finding that, I want it to be noted that my gynecologist sends me a happy birthday card. And I just want to know, like, what prompts a gynecologist to do that? And like the next time I am in there, like I do want to ask, like, how can I look younger down there? Like, are you going to give me some night cream or I don't know.
I think lube would do it. And even if it's moisturizing, I think just
Yeah.
drinking water from the inside out is going to keep it all.
Yeah. Shove a straw up there. You know?
Shove a straw up there. Yes.
That's perfect. I mean, yeah, any way to keep the beef curtains hydrated is a-okay.
I'm sure your beef curtains are not beef curtains and are completely hydrated and lovely, I'm sure. This is a non sequitur, but Matt, my husband Matt, Ashley knows him. He sent me this video of these ridiculous people on TLC doing coffee enemas, and apparently it made it to the top of Reddit. It was crazy.
Wait. They're shoving coffee up their ass?
Yes. So they do like coffee enemas. This woman is addicted to it. And then her husband comes on. He's like, I used to just think she was disgusting. And then I tried it and it's so good. And so apparently it gives you like a euphoria or like a high. And it's like a thing. It's like a thing that people do.
Is it hot?
I don't know. I honestly had to turn the video off. Like enemas, things like that. No. That's not.
I don't want anything blasting profusely up there.
No. Okay, I found the note from my OB/GYN. Dear Mandy, we are pleased to inform you that your recent pap smear and laboratory tests were normal. I'm like, how? That's lovely. Not only do you get like to have that peace of mind that you are in good health, but it's in a note sent by carrier pigeon.
Was it scented with perfume? That's my next question.
It wasn't.
It seems like a missed opportunity for these people. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. They should have their own like vagina like spray.
Yes.
Actually, vaginas don't need it. They already smell like, no, you don't need vagina.
Yeah. I think they need like your vagina scent sprayed on there.
Like
everyone gets their own little and then
you see my goop candle in the background. I have this smells like my vagina candle in the background. You see it right there.
I do love that one. And it smells like the woods, which I guess some vaginas do smell like the woods.
To me, it doesn't smell like a vagina. It smells over perfumed.
Yeah, a perfumey woods.
Yeah. But it's a cute idea. And I'm sure it was like, this is a gift, but I'm sure it was like,
oh my God, hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
We were just talking about vaginas.
Perfect. That's going to be just a great opening.
Just a cold opening. We were talking about Mandy got a note. I've never heard of this. A handwritten note from her OB/GYN saying her pap smear was a-okay. But like, why not an email or a text or a call?
We're talking a letter in the mail.
They sent me a letter in the mail. They were like, we just wanted to let you know your pap smear was normal. Proceed.
Perfect. Maybe next time you could do it by pigeon carrier. I mean,
that's what we said. I love it. It makes me feel cared for.
Yeah.
I know, it's so good.
It's really personal touch.
I mean, I do get nervous every time they call because like I expect them to be like, we can't explain how this happened, but there's a nuclear bomb in your vagina and it's going to explode in 5 days. So
you had your kids home until like last week, right? You have 3 little kids and they were home.
Yeah, they've been home. This is their second week of school. And the reason why I was a little bit late is because there's been a COVID little outbreak at the school. So we just got the robocall of, we would like to tell you all the measures that we're taking. Now my kids have been in school for 2 weeks. Before that, I had them for 219 days at home. I've never been home with my children ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're back.
It's exhausting for parents. I'm sorry to hear that's happened so soon because if you need that Can I say fucking? Is that fine? You
Can
think
I
that
tell you
sounds
one
right?
story? This was the end of my, like, I need to put you in school in some way, private school. We ended up going with
Yeah.
the private school option. So we have a cabin out in the hill country, and we stay out there often. However, every once in a while it's rented, and we're really trying to make an income off it because obviously we're having a break in our, a pause in business right now.
Yeah.
And so weekdays we're out there and we're having a great time and it's fun and it's busy, but weekends we got to go because that thing is rented. And it's like, crack it on Friday, the cleaners are coming and we're out. So I'm there with my 3 kids. I'm trying to pack up all the shit, the kayaks, the golf cart, the this, the that, the cleaning all the bags, all this stuff, throwing it in. My husband's already in Austin, so I'm doing all this stuff. And the kids are not helping. I'm like, I don't care where your shoes are. Anything you see, just throw it in the car. We gotta go. We gotta go. Cleaners are pulling up. I could see them coming down the dirt road, right? And my littlest 3-year-old going, mommy, I have something important to tell you. Mommy, Jack, it can wait. Whatever you have to say is not important right now. Just get in the car. Put yourself in the car seat. Clickety click. Let's go. We are out of here. So we get in the car. It's like 11:02. We're pulling out. Cleaners are pulling in. We get to the end of the entrance to the main place, get on the highway back to Austin. And I say to Jack, the 3-year-old, all right, buddy, like, what was so important that you could not wait to tell me when you could tell I was panicked and you could tell I was freaking out. So what is it that you had to tell me that was just so important? And he looked at me and he said, Mom, I pooped on the kitchen floor.
Oh my God. And those maids went in, they're like, oh.
And then he just
I was like this on the highway, back to the cabin, down the dirt road, flung open the doors. The cleaners were just unpacking their car, and I was like, scoopity scoop.
And so Jack just thought,
he was like, Mom, you were rushing me so much. You said we didn't have time for anything, but I really did have to poop. So as we were leaving, I just let it go. And then you told me to get in the car. And I wanted to tell you, but you kept on going, get in the car.
So he didn't wipe his butt.
No.
No, he just pooped and pulled his pants back up. Yeah.
Pants right back up into the car. And I'm screaming down the highway. And I'm like, oh, and then the second round leaving, I was like, it's time to go to school.
It's time to go to school.
What is this? It's time to go to school. I've been doing this for 200 days. I love y'all, but I can't, it's over. So that was on a Friday. By Monday, I was like, what school is available that would like to take children lunch on an immediate basis?
Mm-hmm.
And do you clean up poop on site? Just a simple question.
Is your son potty trained? Definitely. He's 3. Of course he's potty trained. Never an accident. No, that never happened. Ever. He's been so good since day 1.
Oh my God. Well, has life been a little bit easier for you? I gave you a brief little intro before you came in, but you are like Wonder Woman. You've got 3 kids. You have your own business. You were like, especially pre-COVID, you were working all of the time and you had 3 kids. Is the silver lining to COVID, like you actually have some time to be like, hey, I can like actually like spend a little bit more time with the kiddos and like kind of soak it in a little bit, for better, for worse, with the poop incidents?
Yeah, well, thank you for the nice intro. And yes, we have been able to spend some really nice time together. We've actually taken a few driving trips and done some exploration, which has been really cool. So that's been fun. I've been doing a ton of house projects. So, when you don't pay any attention to your house for 5 years and then you open your eyes and like basically everything needs to be, spruced up a little bit. So a lot of house projects. But yeah, I mean, working, one of your questions was, if I can, segue into it is, what is it like when you're working with your own business and you have kids at home? And I was thinking about that question, and I remember about 2 years ago, it was Christmas time, and my dad gave us a big bag of coffee, right? Like for one of our Christmas gifts. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's great. My husband likes coffee. I drink coffee every morning, great. And I picked up the bag and I felt that it was whole bean coffee. And I just had an absolute freak out. And I said, what were you thinking? Why would you ever buy me whole bean coffee? I have 3 kids and I work 10, 12, 15 hours a day. I am not anywhere in the point of my life where I have time to grind coffee, especially in the morning. Like, this would be a great gift for when my kids are in freaking college, but you are buying me whole bean coffee? Are you out of your mind?
We don't have time for that. We gotta go.
Like, you assumed that I had time to grind the coffee? You are
so offensive. Yeah.
This is the ever. Like, I can't believe you would think that about me.
Yeah, like, did it also come with like a babysitting slip where he would like take the kids while you grind the coffee?
No, there was nothing like that.
I need to know, how do you get house projects done when you have a 3-year-old at home? Because my 4.5-year-old is my youngest, is a tyrant and a tornado. He's so sweet and so cute to make up for it, but he will not let me get anything done because he's constant attention.
It's very hard. It's nearly impossible. And I feel like when you are trying to do anything, whether that's house projects or work or whatever, everything's kind of just hanging by a thread. Like, everything in your life is hanging by a thread. You see the neighbor walking down the street, you're like, no, I'm gonna come out and wave to you because I don't want you to pop by, because my house is actually disgusting and it hasn't been cleaned. I've got laundry everywhere and I can't let the general public see the inside of my house because I would be mortally embarrassed. So no neighbors coming over, and then you're like at work trying to do the biggest project, or here trying to do the biggest project that has to get done that day, and then you see on your phone the dreaded daycare call, and you can see the number come up on your phone, and you're going, no. They're not ever calling to tell you that he like just drew the most beautiful parachute. They're like, congratulations, he said the word tiger. Like, that's not happening, right? They're calling for one reason and one reason only, and that's like, pick up your freaking kid this second. They've got a temperature, they are sick, they're making other kids sick. No, you don't have an hour, you'll be here in the next 10 minutes. And by the way, all of your kids are going because they all live in the same household. So you're looking at that call going, no, I can't answer that.
Sure can't.
We just dropped them off.
Yeah. And then you go home and you and your husband talk about like the germs at daycare, and your kids are always sick. And why don't these stupid parents, if your kid is sick, don't bring them to school. You're being so selfish. Why are you not doing this? But then when that call comes in, we've all done it. You're all looking at the phone going, no. I'm in an emergency situation where I'm not able to answer the phone right now.
Constant emergencies.
I mean, maybe in an hour or two, probably I'll be able to answer that call, but right now it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's hanging by a thread for sure.
Yeah.
So yes, COVID time has given us a little bit more time to spend with each other, to read a book or 2 or 3 at night, which, we had never done before. But I had made a pact to myself and my husband when we had kids. So we had twins. Our first 2 are twins. And it's a little strange, but we tried forever to have kids, did a lot of in vitro fertilization and stuff like that. And so finally got the kids. And then that same year, I decided to start a business. So I said to myself, opposite of most parents, when they're little, they're cute, but they're like, blob, and there's not a whole lot to do besides, So I'm going to take the first 5 years and all I'm going to do is work. And then, I'll take some pictures and be around on the weekend. But like, if I just work constantly for 5 years, I'll build this really, really great business. And then after 5 years, when they're 5 and they're like cute and real kids and have personalities and they know who I am and they want to hang out with me, then I'm going to just slide right in and be the best mom ever, because I've got this really great business going. I've got it all set up with all these really reliable, great people. And then finally, I'm going to be able to like enjoy all the benefits of building this business. So I did that. But at 5 years, I did not hit the point where I could just be like, hanging out at home and not having to work. 6 years, I was getting to the point where it was like, I'm pretty sure I can now like break out a little bit early, not have to work every night and weekend. And then COVID hits, and now I got to spend a lot of time with my kids. So the timing was crazy. And, I guess I'm glad I did it the way I did it, because we built a great business, and, I'm confident that the business is back. But those first couple of years when we're young, it is a real struggle to figure out what the priority is. And it's very, very hard to have both a business and be a mom of young kids, for sure.
Totally. And I mean, like, I'm always amazed by you. So the first time I met Elizabeth, I came in, I worked for Austin Detours with her. I met this woman and she had T-Rex arms. And she had like dual T-Rex arms. I'm like, oh, and there was a company party that had happened like a week or like a weekend before. And she had fallen on, was it a skating rink or an ice rink?
Oh, it was a skating rink.
It was a skating rink and had fractured both arms.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And so she walks in like a T-Rex. And in my mind, Jurassic Park is my favorite movie. So I was like, I love this woman.
Match.
Yeah, match made in heaven right here. But I mean, like, you are like the most tenacious business owner I've ever met. You're like the hardest working person I know. And you're really inspiring in so like many ways. And like what I know the story of how you like started Austin Detours, but like I want you to tell it because I think it's like such an interesting, inspiring thing of like you had like a big life pivot of like, this is what I'm doing.
Thanks. Yes. So prior to starting Austin Detours, Ian and I, my husband and I, had lived abroad for about 8 years. And my job before that was working for Harley Davidson in India. We were launching Harley Davidson in India. And so it's really fun, exciting, challenging environment. And then we moved back to the US. Well, actually, we moved to Africa and then lived there for a couple of years in a tiny village on top of a 12,000-foot mountain with no water and no telephone and no internet. And so it's very opposite of the Harley Davidson experience. So we moved back to the US. And I'm applying for these jobs. I've had the twins, they're like 8 months old. And I know I need to go back to work. So I'm applying for all these jobs. And I'm on my 7th interview at unnamed large tech company in Round Rock. And I'm on a shuttle bus going around to same interview, same people, same questions, same everything. And thinking to myself, this is just not going to work, right? And I'm thinking about what I want to do. And we had had a lot of visitors. We just moved to Austin. And we were doing a lot of like going to food trucks, going to live music shows, going to, wine tasting, breweries, all this stuff. So right then I told the shuttle bus driver, I'm out. You got to stop. I'm out. I'm leaving. And I came home and my husband, who's British and he's an engineer and he's no nonsense and really nice guy, but not super, super emotional, right? And so I come home, I burst through the door, Ian, I figured it out. I'm going to be a tour guide.
Oh, Elizabeth.
His response was like, well, that's cute, but we have, 2 kids at daycare that we need to pay for. And I just don't think that that's a grown-up job. And he said, why would you want to do that anyway? And I said, because I really thought about what I like to do. And I mean, I really like to go to food trucks. I really like to listen to live music. I really love going wine tasting and to restaurants and doing all these things. So can I just get paid to do that? Obviously, everyone would like to do that. But he was kind enough to say, okay, you know what, just do this for a couple of months, get it out of your system. And then we can go back to you getting a real job. So long story short, I started Austin Detours myself, just one tour guide, and within a couple months hired the second. Within the first 6 months we were at 5, and 5 years down the line we're in 2 cities, 35 staff, an awesome team, and just really really rocking it. I mean, we were winning all kinds of awards and we became the largest tour company in Austin, and it's just amazing. It was just amazing what we were all able to accomplish. Mandy, who is my kind of second in command, came on in year 2, and Marielle came in on year 4, and Ashley came in year 5, and we were just really rocking Austin and having a great time. And so it ended up being more than just a tour guide position. So you never really know what's possible. And I tell people who are starting their own business, especially women, something that you should never do is say, I'm just going to do this little hobby or this little project, because anything that takes your time, your effort, your passion, your money isn't a project. It's a business. And you have to say that out loud. You have to say, I am starting a business. And when that word, that really huge word comes out of your mouth, all of a sudden it's a little scary. And when it's a little scary, you have to hold yourself accountable to that. And you have to say, holy crap, I'm starting a business. That's a lot of pressure. So I gotta get my ass in gear. Let's do this, girl. Instead of, oh, this is just a little hobby, or project to project we say, oh, a hobby is just something fun to do. No, here's what I'm doing, and I'm doing it with confidence, and I'm gonna say it out loud, because either I'm gonna do it and it's gonna work, or I'm gonna do it and it's gonna fail. And then I'll tell everybody, crap, I did it and it failed, but I tried. Yeah. So I think it's important to have that confidence.
I think you have to be so brave to do that. I think a lot of people feel like imposters when you're first starting and you're like, now I'm an actor. And you kind of feel like, can I even say that out loud? Can I even say now I have a business, a touring business, so what did you want to be when you were a kid? I know that's a big jump, but I'm curious, like what was on your heart? Like, have you had multiple things on your heart that you're like, this is for me? Or were you like able to like transition to be like, this is for me now? Or like, is there something that was?
Yeah, good question. I think I always knew that I'd probably be an entrepreneur in some way. I mean, when I was 10, I was gathering up, we lived on Lake Michigan in Wisconsin, and I was gathering up dead alewives, they're little silvery fish from the beach. And I was putting a certain kind of shellac that I found out about in my mom's basement. There's fumes all over my house. And I was making pendants for necklaces and earrings out of them, the dead fish. And I was going to our local farmer's market and selling this fish jewelry that did not go over well with animal lovers or my parents. And I thought it was very creative, really unique, and it was something that nobody else was doing.
Love that.
I think
do you have any of those left? Because if you do, I would love to see
really
them.
Wish I did. Here's what happened, Mandy. Once you had them for a little bit and the shellac really set in, their eyes had a circle of blood around them, and it got
go on.
And it did get a little just a little freaky. I will even as the owner of that business, I was like,
she claims it as a business. I love that. You've got to call it a business.
Owner of shellacked fish business.
Fish. I mean, and then after that, it was custom picture frames. I mean, it was just one thing after another that I was always trying to hustle and sell and create and gather people to get excited about. And so I think from the beginning, there was always that kind of like energy and maybe like team building and cheerleading and what's, a great idea. What are things that people could use? How could we, create something together? So I never grew up and said, oh, I'm going to be a teacher, or, I never sort of thought of a profession in that way. I kind of thought like, gosh, what is the world and I going to create,
Oh.
I love that. One of your things that you told me, so we used to share an office, if you could believe this, and we used to laugh hysterically all the time, like over like the stupidest things. We would just be like laughing hysterically. And like I had my clip-in extensions back then, and like we would be clipping them in Elizabeth's hair and like just like random stuff. Like it was wild back there. But I remember
right? Like, hey Ashley, I need a little trim on the mohawk. Like wheel your chair over.
Like anything went in the ladies' lounge. We called it the ladies' lounge, and anything went in the ladies' lounge. There was always something going on. But I do remember you said something, and it's really stuck with me, and I think it's so true. You said when you were like starting out, especially like starting out the business, you told yourself, there's so many other people in this world who are going to be better at X, Y, and Z than you, but no one can be a harder worker than you. Yeah. And I think that's such good advice, especially like, no matter what your field is like, I mean, even with like comedy or acting, it's like someone's always going to be better looking. Someone's always going to be thinner. And that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but like, there's always going to be someone who's more blank.
Yeah.
But you can control how hard you work.
Exactly. I that's exactly, I remember that conversation, and, I think verbatim it went like, I'm not wealthy enough to not have to work. I'm not pretty enough to be a model or an actress or get anywhere on my looks, but I'm the hardest worker in the room, and I always will be. And I will just make sure that whatever I do, one of my favorite quotes is "Fortune favors the bold." And it's like, if you decide what you want to do in your life, go do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? I feel like one thing that's helped me along the way is that I don't very much get embarrassed. I feel like I can be goofy or do whatever, and I really don't have that like feeling stupid in front of people or embarrassed about something, which has actually proved to be a good quality in starting a business, because you make a fool of yourself all the time, and you say really stupid things, and you try really hard and you fail constantly. And for some people that really shuts people down. But everybody's been shut down, right? Like we've all been through that as a business owner or in your career, or definitely as a mom every single day, and so I think being able to stand up and say, wow, that I screwed that up. That was a huge failure, and that was all me. I screwed that up big time. And then, of course, you move on. And I think that if you can create an environment where you are open and transparent about that and say, I'm really trying my hardest, but like, I'm kind of screwing things up here and I get that. Other people will feel safe to be able to do the same thing. And, people are feeling that way no matter what, whether they're saying it out loud or not. And so if you're the first one to be able to say that, and then others can come out and have that kind of rawness, and I think it creates an environment where people feel like I can be myself here and it's going to be okay.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot, about like being vulnerable, and I feel like that's like really the only way I want to be friends with someone anymore. I feel like you get to a point in your life and like, if I'm going to share myself with you, and like it has to be like,
Totally
sort of,
genuine.
totally genuine. And I think you're right when you're like, you show like you don't have all the answers, you don't have to have all the answers, and you show that, then people feel more comfortable to be like, okay, and you can grow from that so much more than pretending like you know what the fuck's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, the other way, you look at people who look like they have it all together and who are always, talking in a certain way and have everything figured out. And you're thinking to yourself, no,
there's no way.
That can't be. I think that that's important for people to realize themselves, but then also it's a responsibility as a business owner and an employer to create an atmosphere where people feel like it's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a family or whatever
Yeah.
you're part of.
Something that you said struck me, that if you don't try, I think that feeling, like what's the worst that's going to happen, is that feeling of looking back on your life and being like, I wish I would have. Like that like FOMO on your own life, and being like, why didn't I try that? Why didn't I believe in myself?
Totally.
That's worst case.
Like, if you think of it, it's like, right, life is really only the collection of all of your, let's do this, let's give this a try, let's try, it's the richness of all of those experiences coming together, and that forms who you are going forward. And so you look back and you're like, oh wait, I did that really weird thing then, or I remember when we did that crazy project, or just like you two are doing right now, you look back and go, oh my gosh, remember when we were doing those interviews and that comedy, and you changed because of that. If you would have never done that, it would have never headed to the next thing.
Yeah, I'm much more comfortable with having like my butt cheeks hanging out now than I was 6 months ago when we first started filming sketch comedy. And I wanted that for myself. I was like a closet nudist, and now look at me, Ashley. We filmed, and like I'm like, we had like some very deep cleavage, and I'm like very proud of it. I'm pretty nudie no more.
An open jacket even at one point in time. Mandy and I have talked a lot about creatives in general and how it's really difficult to find a fellow creative that has their shit together. Yeah. Did you? Oh, again.
That was on my mind.
But like, we're constantly thinking this of like, God, like, so there's so many creatives who don't have their shit together, like down to the simplest things of like, make a Cal invite or like respond to the email or do something.
Yeah.
And your entire like basis of your company is hiring creatives, and you did it masterfully. You've hired musicians, comedians, trumpeteers, unicyclists all over the place that would host these big events and take people all over town and show off Austin. So like, what is it like to build a team of unique people, but also unique creatives, which has its own challenges?
That is definitely true. Which I will say, to your massive credit, Ashley, you are the first person that is as creative as you are that I think,
Mm,
straddles both of those worlds, right? Like, you are the
thank
utmost
you.
professional. You have got your shit together. You are rocking it in every single way. But then you're also mega, mega creative and can go off in any direction and, create something out of that. And I think that's obviously why, like, when I met you, it was like, wow, this woman is amazing. Because you're right, that is a really, really hard balance to find. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank
You are awesome.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
Secondly, but yeah, building a team. So I think our team, and I hope that you can attest to this, is very unique as far as work environments go. I mean, COVID has happened and these people still feel like we are a family. We are, very distraught that this has happened, because we're super, super tight knit. And it was the kind of family that was very open and transparent. And like, you tell your brother or your sister, like, you're really fucking annoying me, and this is why. And we talked like that in our company often, because people spent a lot of time together, right? Like, it was an abnormal job in the sense that you were out together most nights. You were also in the office together most days. I mean, we spent a lot of our time together, and we were in highly stressful situations that took a lot of moving parts. So it needed to be like, I need to be able to tell you this directly and quickly, and you need to hear it, and we need to move on. And so just the nature of our business meant that we had to trust each other and be really close. But in terms of selecting those people, highly creative, but also highly organized, I think there are a couple things to note. Number one is, when I looked at everyone who came in the door, the biggest question was, how are you going to fit with our team? It wasn't, you could be the most talented person on earth and you probably weren't going to get the job if there was someone that was maybe a couple levels down or hadn't had as much experience, but was a really good fit for our team. Because at the end of the day, a business is a living thing, right? And so I only have so much control over a business. Not any one person can control the culture of a business. Every single person that you hire, it forms and shapes what this living thing is, and the ideas that come out of it, and what it becomes. So if you don't respect, it's like a child. If you don't respect this thing that you're growing together as a team, and you are at the top making decisions, it can't develop in the organic way that it needs to be successful. The other side of that is that when you're working with a lot of very type A personalities and very type B, two extremes, something that we always had to kind of remind each other was, you're the best musician on our team. You're the worst at doing this administration project, and that's okay, right? And so I think that that when you're in a company, sometimes people to develop, especially managers want you to develop and say, well, if you're going to do this job, this is just what comes with the territory. No, that's not always true, right? There are just some things in people's personality that you are so good at this, but you're never going to do this. A musician on our team is never going to come in and do spreadsheets the next morning at 8 a.m. It's not going to happen. And unless you take a look at yourself and adjust your expectations and what's actually possible, what you're asking of these people, that's when I think the team aspect really comes in. It's not, hey, let's delegate every job to every person. It's like, cool, you're good at that. That's what you're going to do. And then you own it and you run with it, but don't have those same expectations for the next person. So it was a lot of like knowing your role and running with it and owning it, but then respecting other people's roles and knowing that they're not going to be who you are. And that's why we're all together. That's why we have this team.
I love it. And it's so true. Like, it's true. And you managed to put together such like a good group of people that, did have some strengths, but also some weaknesses too, but you found a way to kind of meet an equilibrium. And we're talking big personalities too, like huge personalities.
Normally, it was a group that wouldn't normally necessarily be good friends, that ended up becoming really good friends and still are today. So, we took people from all walks of life, all ages. I mean, our team was pretty diverse in that way. And I think we all respected each other enough and really appreciated everyone's talents that everyone was in it to work hard and become successful and grow this business to unlimited potential. And that was always on everyone's mind. And so it was like, if you love what you're doing and you love the people that you work with, you will break your back for them. You will do anything to make it grow, anything to make it succeed. And everyone had the same mindset. And so it wasn't like, I stayed until 10 o'clock last night, why didn't you? It's like, we all did, because we're all here together and we're all doing this as a team. And it just, it was just the most magical thing. It was just beautiful to see.
As someone, it sounds like you're this way too. I have trouble like turning off. Like when I'm so invested in something, I'm like, I could do it forever. Like especially like right now with Ashley, like our comedy stuff, I'm like, I could literally do it forever. But I'm also like, I don't know how to relax. This is how I've been like forever though. If I'm really passionate about something and then I'm like, I don't know how to like fully relax. Like do you find like, how do you like shut off and be like, okay, I don't need to like, so I could think of 12 more things to do to enhance the website or this or that. Like I could literally always think of things. I like that, but can't turn it off. Can you turn it off?
So that is such a good question. And yeah, it's a good thing, but it's also kind of a scary thing, right? Because you're looking at yourself going, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Like, how can I, I should just be able to like relax and enjoy my friends and enjoy my family and, be in the moment and all that.
Be in the moment, right?
In the moment, right?
Like that's the purpose of life, is to be here right now.
Exactly. And so it's a great question. And I never had the time to think about that when I was working. And then COVID happened and we're shut down. And so I thought to myself, like, okay, what am I going to do? And of course the kids were with me. So then it wasn't a question because I was homeschooling. Their school ended at 9:15 every morning. So we had a whole docket of stuff that we had to get done every day. So it was busy. So that time was taken up. But then 2 weeks ago when they went back to school, I thought, okay, so I'm going to just like take a month. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a month. And I'm going to do all the working out like I always thought I would do. We always think like post-COVID, post-break, like you're going to be in the best shape of your life. Like you're going to look great, right? So I'm going to work out. I'm going to maybe read. Like that would be a really great activity for me to do. I'm pretty sure besides a business book, the last leisure book I might have read was maybe Charlotte's Web, something like that. So I thought I was going to do all those things, right? So since like 2 weeks ago, now I've now sanded and dusted all of my kitchen cabinets, painted them all. I've done the same with both of my bathrooms. I've painted both my bathrooms. And today I just got done literally stripping, power washing, and sanding 400 square feet of a Brazilian hardwood deck. And then you have to do this process. It can't be stained. You do this process where you hand oil it and scrub the entire thing, which I just completed with floodlights out at about 5:30 before I have a geography club that I teach on Thursday nights. And so the answer to your question in short is I don't think there's ever going to be an unwind. I don't think there's ever going to be a relax. I've never in my life gotten a pedicure. I've never in my life gotten a manicure. I think going to the spa sounds like the most dreadful thing. I feel scared of myself if I'm not doing something. And my husband, hey, let's, sit down and have a chat. Let's sit down and watch a TV show. And it's like, okay, and I'm always kind of like, well, we could sit down and have a chat while I'm doing some good old sanding of the cabinets or, mopping the floor, or maybe I'm, putting some gift boxes together or right now I'm making 13 blankets for this, this charity downtown with my Girl Scouts. So it's like the constant motion. I'm always in motion. But the question that you're asking is a great one. What if I just force myself to not do that? What would happen? I don't know. I don't think I want to.
Are you like meditating when you because sometimes when I'm running, I'll get my great ideas. Everybody gets shower ideas. Is this when you're like, okay, you're in constant motion because that's how your brain is like creating or meditating? Is it like that? Or like if you sit still, I don't know. I have trouble sitting.
I can't sit still, but a lot of people will be like, you're out there, sanding or staining or whatever, or painting or whatever house project. Why aren't you listening to music? Why aren't you listening to a podcast? Why aren't you listening to the news? I'm thinking to myself, why would I ever listen to anything? I'm just, I'm thinking. I'm with myself. I'm thinking. So I think it's just I need to be doing something, but it's my time. That is my time to I don't know, think of ideas, think about what's going on with the business, think about my kids, think about what's
Yeah.
happening in the world. Yeah.
I'm so glad that that's your answer, because I do think that this is a very human thing. This is not what you're doing, but it's a human thing to like distract yourself from yourself, and you're definitely not doing that, you know? I think that's
You
nice.
do wonder, like, if you're a mover and shaker type person that always wants to be doing something, like I think the three of us are, you know, the word retirement is like, wait. People want that. People
Why
want
would anybody want that?
work.
Why would anyone want that?
Would do that, right? Exactly. So I do think that being a woman, a creative person, a person who likes to be busy can be a struggle, you know, I guess socially, because there's an expectation that you go to work, you sit on the couch, you watch the game, you sit with women and have a wine or whatever, and then you know maybe you take a walk around the neighborhood, and then eventually you just retire, and then that's like check life. And for any of us in the room, that's seeming like not my reality, and I don't think yours either, right?
No.
And you're
Like,
the type of person.
On board, or what could I do today, or you know.
Well, and you're the type of person that will just come up with like these amazing ideas out of nowhere too, where like you'll be doing something and then it'll click and you'll see it click too. And it's so magical when it happens, where it's like, hey, what about this? We could try this. And I mean, I feel like how Thanksgiving Back came to be, which was like this big fundraiser she put together. Like, just, hey, why don't we have a food drive? Let's have a food drive and we'll have a goal of 500 items, just whatever. Hard cut to our entire office being packed to the brim, walls packed with food. And Caritas, which is one of the food banks here in town, it was the largest donation they've ever seen. And this was all because Elizabeth had an idea while she's like working and doing something. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this drive. This is what I'm going to do.
That was so fun, and it was a wonderful cause, and I think everybody really got on board with that and made it happen. And our team was just awesome, getting people excited and getting our event community excited. And I think what made that really successful is that people inherently want to do things, right? You guys know this too, right? Like, people want to feel involved, they want to feel a part of something, but they're going, you know, along their daily lives and not thinking like, oh, what could I do and how do I do it? But if given a proposition to, hey, let's all band together and do this, people want to, I hate to say it like this, but people want to be in the room or involved in the project where people are having the most fun, where it's the most exciting, where there's energy, where there's things happening, productivity happening, right? You're looking at that person, at least I am, many people I know are looking at that person or that organization or that company going, how do I be a part of that? You look like you're having a great time and doing great things. And then an energy explodes, and then people love being a part of it, and it just multiplies. And so that was a good example of that project. However, going back to what I was saying before about, you know, being embarrassed about things, is the flip side of that is when you're someone like me or both of you, you can come up with a lot of those very spontaneous, really good ideas, and in your mind, it all makes sense, and it's so great, and it's so fun, and here's why we're going to do it, and here's how it's going to work. And then, you know, when it comes out of your mouth, you know, there are equally as many times that it really falls flat, and it's like, what in the hell are you talking about? And so I've gotten a lot of those too, for sure, where, you know, that's the embarrassing, like, okay, crap, so that actually wasn't a very good idea. Or I think it's a great idea, but clearly nobody else is on board with this. So moving on.
I think it's nice to have people in your corner that can tell you that too. Because I think as a woman, when you have your shit together and you look put together and you're smart and you come as a total package, and we touched on this a little bit, that people are sort of like looking a little bit for like, what's the Achilles heel here, whatever. So I don't always feel like women are open with each other. Not always. Like we found our, you know, you find your people that will be open and honest with you to be like, you know what, you've got a lot of great ideas, but that's not the one. Like, I love it when I am like with a group of strong women that are like, love you, baby, that's not the one. You know, like, let's move on.
The other day, I was with a group, like I have become more interested in hanging out with people in my neighborhood because I've always been working and I've been in South Austin, and you know, that's a very different vibe. And I live in North Austin, I live in Northwest Hills, and it's a kind of a different, you know, demographic here. And the other moms that my kids are hanging out with, and we're at a private school now, so life is just very different than it used to be.
Mhm.
And so I had exactly that moment with this idea that I thought was so brilliant. And it just came to me at 11 o'clock one night. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't even sleep. This is amazing. I actually texted another mom who I was really excited to share this with because I thought it would catapult her business. And this is, for me, a slam dunk, right? She's not texting back at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm wondering,
You're like
I don't understand. So I'm up like half the night, like going, okay, so how's this going to work? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the stalker that I am goes to her house the next morning and is like, hi, I know you didn't text me back last night and you still haven't called me since, but I have this really great idea.
No.
I am at your house to tell you what it is. And we sat on the curb and I was like, blah, 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 and then you, and then your business, and then this, and then we're going to bring these people in, and then we're going to do this, and then that's it. So what do you think? And she, sat there and went, and she's very energetic, really nice gal, really good friend of mine. What are you talking about?
And you're like,
that was her response.
Yeah, she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, wow, what? She was like, I just don't know what you're talking about right now. And I was like, that to me all night long, it seemed totally clear. Really
like
clear.
It's clear as day. Why can't you see this?
Right.
But she had wanted to start a business and you were like, this is how you do it, bam, bam, bam. And she's like, oh no, I didn't want to
So
start.
she has just started her own business and she was thinking of ways to market herself, and especially around the neighborhood. So I thought of this really good idea. And then what I did is I went home and told my husband, and he is the realist. So he's like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, wow, that's two people who've asked what I'm talking about. Maybe it's not that clear. So then I revved up the old Google Drive and put together a couple of spreadsheets, put together a little document, like basically header 1, this is what I'm talking about, and explained it and went through it. And then we met again, and you know, she had some time to read it and whatever and understand it. And then I think I had put down on paper what I was thinking about, and then it made more sense to the people that I was presenting it to. And so sometimes I think that happens where, it's still something that we might do. I still think it's an okay idea, but to other people, I'm talking about something that really could be Mandarin.
Well, at least it's better than the alternative of like, that is a fucking dumb idea. Like they could have just straight up said that, because I've had that happen to me.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like a year plus ago, I thought I had a fucking $1 million idea. Imagine this. You're on a jog. You're jogging. Your leggings are on. Okay. Then the leggings start falling down. I think I'm going to go on Shark Tank with this idea. I'm going to make me a belt that I could wear with my leggings. And I think this is the idea. And I hit up my friend Megan. I go, Megan, I got this idea. You're a runner. You'll love this. I tell her this whole thing. And she goes, bitch, get smaller leggings. I was like, oh.
Sometimes the waistband is bigger than the legs. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need a tighter waistband. So I'm on that.
It was just alarming to hear the easy solution for her. Like, go down a size. What's wrong?
Like, right. It seems so obvious.
Yeah.
Just like when I was telling you, what is this Lululemon?
I
was like, what?
I mean, clearly you could tell I don't care about these things.
Lululemon. The
I mean,
French Lululemon.
They have a special line of those kind of jogging pants.
Oh my God.
I think it's a good idea. I do think that's a good idea, especially if you could like hold some stuff, like a little flashlight for at night, maybe a phone holster. I mean,
I like that too.
I like the utilitarian aspect of that.
Matt has one though, Ashley. So he has like a belt. He was like, you can use this while you run because I've been holding my cell phone. This is ridiculous. I like hold it like this while I run. So before we have to go, what is for all the mashers out there that are listening, can you tell us like what is like if you were going to tell your younger self something or like a piece of advice, words of wisdom that you just wish that you could like give to everybody? Like what is it? What is it? Tell us. What's the best advice?
Tell us your secrets.
Tell us your secrets.
Number one, from a mom perspective, don't ever buy a baby monitor.
Yeah, genius.
Right.
Drives you insane. Yeah.
Like, the only time you can sleep, the baby is not going to die. If the baby's dying, you're going to hear it in the next room, but just sleep. Like, don't worry. Don't be watching a video and don't be that weird mom who's like watching a video of the Blob. No, that's a really dumb idea.
Yeah.
Number two, total waste of time. It's so not
true. It's right.
Number two, for business owner or people who aspire to be a business owner, I would say never, ever, ever write a business plan that you plan to stick to, because a business plan is a good exercise for you yourself to go through, unless you're getting funding from a bank or venture capitalist or whatever. But if you're just an entrepreneur going into business for yourself, write yourself a business plan of what you think is possible and kind of how you're going to do things, but don't stick to that and know that it could change. If I would have stuck to my business plan, I would have never made any money. I would have never hired the people that we hired. I would have never figured out the potential of Austin Detours, because on paper it's something completely different than real life people and life experience. And so yeah, and then I guess the third thing, don't buy coffee. It's a waste of fucking time. Seriously. Like, you got to maximize every moment. If you're a mom and a business owner, and sitting at the coffee grinder doing this it's just not a productive use of your time. Skip it.
Who has time for that?
Who grinds? Literally, it's offensive for you to think I'm going to grind my own coffee. Of course I'm not going to be doing that. I've got a million other things I've got to do this morning. No.
Absolutely not.
No. Absolutely not.
Is there anything you want to plug before we call it? Anything you want to give a shout out to? Websites, anything like that?
Let's see. So there are a couple things actually. So we are not currently operating because of COVID. We do plan to start operating at some point. The numbers are now obviously going back up, and we want to keep, first and foremost, our this entire time, we want to keep our staff safe. We want to keep our guests safe. There will be a time that we can all get together, and that will happen more quickly if everybody stays safe, wears masks, protect themselves, stay home as much as you possibly can. We would all love to be back in business. We all worked really, really hard to make all of our dreams come true, and dreams for a lot of people in Austin and visitors, but that can't happen right now. And, we can get there faster if we all work together. That's number one. Number two is, if you are looking for an organization or something to do over the holidays, Austin Detours has always supported Caritas Downtown. It is the organization that helps homeless people get off the streets and into permanent housing with apartments and job placement and help with families and kids and education. And every year, Austin Detours has done different service projects to support Caritas. But I know right now that they've had their lowest year ever in terms of food donations, because a lot of it was coming from corporate team building, to be honest, and teams are not getting together. So if you have any extra, has to be new food, new clothing, new things that you find around your house, or things at the holidays that you don't need, Caritas Downtown. Emily is the director there and would be happy to talk to you, but that would be a great organization just to keep in mind over the holidays.
Awesome. Well,
and thank you both for having me, because this was fun and you're awesome.
Oh my God, I just hit this.
Yeah, I really feel so honored that you decided to have me on. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, Mashers. I feel like we all learned a lot about chasing your motherfucking dreams, bitches. Don't even stop for 1 second. Just stop and relax and take care of yourself and exercise and shower and wash your hair and do what you need. But go chase your motherfucking dreams.
And shellac some porches. Or decks. Shellac some decks.
you have to start with, right, you have to start with the idea you have and let it grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go follow us on all the things.
All the things.
We have a new sketch dropping where we are millennials and we dressed up as Gen Zers and we made a little sketch. We went to UT campus, made a little sketch, so go check it out. It's dropping soon on youtube.com/the/Mashley Also follow us on our Instagram.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Mashley Comedy. Follow us on TikTok at Mashley Comedy TikTok.
Facebook's for the old fuckers.
But if you're an old fucker, follow on there. You know, if that's your home, do it.
Do it.
Well, until next time, we'll see y'all then.
See y'all then, mashers.
Clean those butts.
Clean your butt. The traditional way.